First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for leaving my husband in the grocery store because he started acting like a toddler? We all go through phases and pick up annoying habits, and sometimes we just need our loved ones to gently tell us if we've picked up a particularly egregious habit. Sometime in the last year, my husband has picked up a habit where he talks like a baby. At first, it was funny, but passed into embarrassing, cringe-worthy behavior quickly. Examples: doggo, pupper, woofer/subwoofer, pibble, hootie boy, peepo, burb, meow meow, Sammy, sandwiches, Sammy whammy, chicky nuggies, chicky tendies, adding a toddleresque lisp to words. And the ones that really get gross are childish euphemisms for genitalia or sex. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is not endearing or sexy to have my husband talk about my BBs, and his winner and weenie and wee-wee, hoo-has and bajingos. Nostalgia for scrubs be damned. We have not been intimate for 6 months because he cannot stop talking about my BBs, and it makes me sick. Just before the pandemic hit, we were out at a restaurant with some friends. He actually ordered a chicky Sammy, like said the exact phrase. Chicky Sammy. Look, it's totally fine that he ordered a chicken sandwich. That's not the issue. Our friends noticed the baby talk because he insisted on continuing the joke and even started talking with his god-awful toddler lilt accent. After that, I just couldn't stomach the idea of going out with him to adult places. I go out to the brewery with friends, but God forbid he join me and say, "Me wants another beer," or something. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why he's doing this. I finally hit my limit when we were grocery shopping and everything seemed normal and fine until he gasped like a kid, ran to the ice cream section and jumped up and down yelling, ice cream, I want chocolate." I was mortified. People were staring at him and me. He kept going and kept saying, "Can we get popsicos?" And I just said, "Either talk to me like an adult or I'm leaving." He started saying, "Ooh, you must be fun at parties," and "Lighten up, will you?" and stuff like that. I just said hell it and left the store, leaving him to walk home. Like a mile. It was fine, because I couldn't even look at him. Since then, things have been very tense, and he keeps telling me that he wants an apology for embarrassing him by leaving him in the store. I told him that people don't get to demand apologies. If someone wants to apologize, it's up to them. And I am absolutely not going to apologize for saving myself the embarrassment of a 35-year-old man with a mortgage and retirement account asking for chocolate ice cream. He got his freaking mom involved. No joke. She keeps telling me it's just a phase and that he's probably bored, and I should be happy this is his midlife crisis, rather than him sleeping with 19-year-olds at the local bar. I'm going crazy. Am I the a-hole? Do I really just need to let my husband continuously embarrass me like this? Edit. Sorry, there was only so much space. I have talked to him. Multiple times. Especially about the actual comments. I've made it extremely abundantly clear that him using terms like BBs and wee-wee are absolutely repulsive to me, among other things he says. Info, does he have a job? Yes, and he acts completely normal as far as I know. He worked from home for a while during lockdown, and I never heard him talk like this to anyone he worked with. Does he do it with friends? Sometimes, and it's generally meant to annoy them or gross them out, but he stops. He has friends where they think it's cute to embarrass each other. Is this a kink/fetish? If so, I'm absolutely done. Has he seen a doctor? No, but I've asked him if he needed to talk to someone because he was acting strange, and he accused me of being stuck up and judgmental. Given that he doesn't act like this with his coworkers or his family and only jokes around with his friends, I'm willing to bet that this is an indication that he's trying to force this fetish on me non-consensually or trying to get me to leave. Is it a tumor? I don't know. Like I said above, I asked him if he needed to see someone. I can't force him, even if I want to, just find out if there's any way we can salvage this. But after this post closes, I will try to get him to. Maybe his sister can encourage him, even though he acts completely normal around them. Does he have childhood trauma? As far as I know, and I am relatively close to his family and would likely know, the most traumatic thing he had happened was a minor car accident when he was around 13 years old. No injuries, no death, etc. He hasn't been in a car accident in the past 2 years or anything like that, and I haven't. And as far as I know, no one else in his family has been, etc. Now for the top comments. Not day-haul. I'd sit him down and have a serious heart-to-heart. I did not marry a toddler. I married an adult partner to build a life with. I have told you repeatedly that this is not a joke. I find it annoying. And whatever other adjectives you'd like. And it has caused me to lose all physical attraction to you. And not having intimacy for 6 months is a problem. And instead of modifying your behavior and trying to respect my feelings, you bring in your mother to our relationship to justify your actions. If you are truly a little boy who wants his mommy, you can pack up your stuff and leave with her. If you are interested in saving this marriage, you will not only go to a regular doctor for a checkup to make sure there isn't some underlying medical condition for this change in behavior. You will start marriage counseling with me immediately. So, if this behavior is in response to some subconscious need you are not having met, we can figure it out together. These are your options. Fight for our marriage as an adult, or be a child that's not old enough for any sort of meaningful relationship and go live with your mother. Encourage him to go to the doctor. With a sudden change in his behavior, you're continuing talks to him about it, and 6 months without action, and he still hasn't admitted there's a problem. He needs to get checked out. There might be something serious medically going on. Not day-haul, but he got his mommy involved. So tell her she is welcome to take her toddler shopping while he screams for, "Ice cream, ice cream, I want chocolate." Not to bring him back till she has raised him back to adulthood. Edit. Also, I would suggest that a doctor's visit may also be appropriate, if this is in any way non-voluntary, because it may be linked to some kind of cognitive issue. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole? I almost died at work today, and my wife is angry I didn't ask about her day when I got home. I had an accident where I lost control of an elevated work platform, EWP, on dangerous terrain whilst working today. The EWP slid down the hill, did a 180-degree turn through a row of trees whilst I was elevated at approximately 5 meters. It was harrowing, and I was left shocked as it happened very quickly and felt like I was going to tip the machine. On return home, I had a shot, of vodka to steady my nerves and told my wife. She was cooking dinner and said some conciliatory things when I told her about the incident and asked if I was going to keep working this job. She then asked me to move out of the kitchen while she cooked. I got visibly upset, and then she said, "Well, you haven't asked me about my day." I had to look after our daughter all day. We're in lockdown for COVID and not allowed to leave the house at the moment. She then told me to look after our daughter who was having a tantrum. She since doubled down on her position and said she had exciting news that she now wasn't going to tell me. I said that was her decision. I'm angry that it doesn't seem like she cares that I almost died, and I don't think me being impolite and not asking her about her day is significant in this context. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Her priorities are whack. Oh yeah, you almost died at work, honey? Why do you have to make everything about yourself? You selfish hubby. Want to know how my day went? Kid, had a tantrum again. So hard. And you never ask how my day went. This is a surreal experience. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She maybe didn't understand the severity of the situation? I guess that's possible. I explained it to her in detail, and I'm sure I used the phrase "almost died" in our second conversation though. I also said I felt like she didn't care if I died, and she actually didn't contradict it in the heat of the moment. Even if she didn't understand initially, I promise you, by the time she decided to hold back on sharing her news, she did. She could have apologized when she saw how hurt you were by her callousness. She chose to double down to hurt you further. She flipped the script on you. She slipped up by being uncaring. When you pointed that out, she said, "Well, you're impolite," to imply that you are uncaring too. But your event obviously trumps hers. You almost died. Trauma versus something she does every day. So very manipulative of her. But then she punishes you by withholding exciting news which presumably concerns your child. So you end up begging her forgiveness, and you forget just how little she cares because you are overwhelmed by your desire to hear about your daughter. Again, manipulation. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not wanting to have my ex's stepdaughter some weekends? I, 32 female, have an 11-year-old daughter with my ex. We divorced 2 years ago because he cheated. He is now with the other woman and is married to her. She has a daughter who will be 11 soon. X's mother-in-law is sick, and his wife has been going to stay some weekends to take care of her. X works weekends, nights usually, and he asked me if I would take his stepdaughter those weekends his wife is gone. He framed it as being more time for the girls to bond. I said no. He called it unfair because I gave it no consideration. I told him I didn't need to consider it and that my answer was no. He said our daughter might say she wants it if I ask her, and that they would throw me some cash for it. Eventually, after I came down hard on my no, he said the reason he wants me to do it is our daughter has chosen not to have a close relationship with his stepdaughter, and he thinks my interacting with her and welcoming her into my home would cultivate our daughter's willingness. I asked him, was she mean or rude to the girl? He said no reluctantly, and I told him that was all I was willing to interfere in, and I am not responsible for cultivating our daughter's relationship with his stepdaughter. I told him the discussion was over. He and his wife are pissed about my refusal and say I would be helping them out while they're in need. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to take her on occasional weekends? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You're not responsible to care for the child of the woman that literally played a hand in breaking up your marriage. Also, if your daughter doesn't like her stepsister, guaranteed there's a valid reason for it. If your ex-husband is so worried about them not bonding, maybe he should look into the reason why his daughter isn't a fan of his stepdaughter. Maybe figure out if some stuff is going down behind closed doors. Edit to add, many things fall under the valid reason category, not just the stepsister being a jerk like I suggested in one reply. So y'all need to chill out with your maybe they just don't have anything in common, or they're just resentful of the situation. Because both of those, as well as the possibility the stepsister maybe isn't the nicest, all fall under the valid reason category. Not your problem. Also, you have no reason to believe his story about the girls needing quality time. Is that true? Or are he and his new wife looking for a cheap/free babysitter? I think it's both, personally. Not the a-hole at all. Your daughter needs one-on-one time with her mom. It's just fair if she's asked to split her time with you with this girl, particularly if she does not like her. She's an individual. They are not a package deal just because their parents are married. Your ex is only asking this to convenience him. You need to do what is best for your daughter. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad the reason I decided to stay with my mom? I, 15 female, chose at the start of lockdown to use that as an excuse to stay with my mom and change custody from every other week with each parent to living full-time with her. My dad wasn't happy with me at the time but let it go, until things got better, and then he was upset I didn't want to go to his house. And when he threatened to take it to court, I told him I would tell the judge this is what I want. He asked me why several times, and I would refuse to tell him. Until a month ago when I just said screw it and told him. I said I liked having my own room there and hated sharing with 2 other people at his house. And his wife always annoyed me by expecting me to take on bigger responsibilities than she expected of her daughter. I told him I preferred being an only child in the home and not dealing with the chaos of a blended family. He asked me why I never told him, but I did. He just didn't listen. He said it made sense for his wife to ask me to cook one family meal a week when I cook and her daughter doesn't. But that crap is frustrating, and it made cooking a chore versus something fun, which I know it can be in real life, but I always enjoyed it before the expectation was put on me. My dad was pissed after I told him. He said I was basically rejecting my family. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. He said it made sense for his wife to ask me to cook one family meal a week when I cook and her daughter doesn't. You didn't cook either, until you did. Everyone has to learn sometime. He doesn't get to make you do more than the equivalent in the home and then be shocked when you don't want to be there. Not the a-hole. You're not rejecting your family, you're rejecting his family and a one-sided dynamic. Not the a-hole. Blended families are difficult. It's the parents' job to make sure the kids are happy and comfortable on both sides. If the stepmom is giving you more chores/work than her kids, then it's your father's job to step in and equal it out. I would say to give your dad a chance to fix these things though, and to understand your feelings of the other children being favored over you. Not the a-hole. I'm by no means a perfect parent myself, But the least you could do is take time to reevaluate things before they escalate to where they are right now, with you not wanting to live under his roof or even visit his home. Yeah, I feel for him not being able to see you at all, but he did it to himself, hoping this time he listens. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.